All right, well, going from what they call fair and balanced to completely unbalanced, well, you know what? Watch yourself. Here's Pat Robertson.
When we like things on Facebook, if it's something that goes against what is written in the Bible, such as pictures of same-sex couples, is that considered condoning the behavior? How do you explain this to new Christians or youth?
Well, I'm not one who switches on likes in Facebook, so it's hard to say, but what you're saying is, yes, I like this kind of thing. You've got a couple of same-sex guys kissing. Do you like that? Well, that makes me want to throw up. But if you think you punch, to me, I would punch vomit, not like.
Not sure that option's there, but nonetheless.
They don't give you that option on Facebook. But anyhow, are you condoning it? Yes, you're condoning it.
Okay, do you guys have that searing pain going through your brain?
Right behind
How
my
this
eyeball.
man
He's
is
still
even
alive?
allowed, he's alive. I guess he funds his own network, or the people that are giving money to Jesus, they're putting up his television program. Anyway, he's punching, vomit, and...
Can I just do a quick rule of
Yeah,
thumb?
please.
I believe when somebody says, I don't push likes on Facebooks, that is your permission to tune out of whatever they're going to say about it.
Right,
Knew
is that...
what Facebook was.
Yeah, but is the more offensive part like his just language around punching the like button?
Punch
That's
the
really
vomit
what...
button.
Yeah.
You know, look, I respect his beliefs, and he has every right to believe what he wants to believe. That's his right, and
Yeah.
I think I probably never would have seen that clip unless you sent it to us to look at it. I am not. I'm sorry. So I did not get that clip in my weekly email.
Right.
But you know, take it for what it's worth. I think people are going to look at that clip and people make their own decisions and be like, okay, he's like crazy old man.
Right.
That just can't see the world like that people are different. And
Yeah.
then whatever, you know, and vomit, okay, whatever.
So
I
then
mean, I just kinda
actually,
giggle.
am I part of the problem here because we're talking about this? And it seems to me that more people talk about Pat Robertson than actually, I don't know anyone that
Gives him more
watches the
power.
show, but every time he says something stupid, it's on every website.
Well, I think it's actually good to talk about because I think it's a gauge of where the super, super crazy hardcore conservatives are, even if they're 140.
Yeah.
Because we've been seeing, I think, what I've noticed is a lot of really, really conservative people breaking down a little bit and accepting that the world is changing and people are evolving and maybe what they thought was true is not. And so this is a good temperature gauge of, okay, here's another one. Is he breaking down to see that, you know, people are people? No.
Right.
Well, Uncle Pat will just go, sit in the corner.
You know, this is
Right.
Pat Robertson, who of course always blames gay people for hurricanes and all that
natural
stuff.
disaster.
He just a few weeks ago, he said that, you know, someone called in and said that their wife had Alzheimer's, and he said, well, you're allowed to cheat on her now. I mean, he's pretty intellectually inconsistent with all that stuff. So, which makes the point, I think, why does God have such bad messengers? You know what I mean? God, every time I think of someone screaming about God, it's either Pat Robertson or, you know, Rick Santorum or some idiot on the subway in New York City screaming about Jesus. Why doesn't he have better messengers?
I know you're not supposed to answer a question with a question, but
Go ahead.
do you really believe that these people are the messengers of God?
Look
When they're
at you.
self-appointed, I'm not
think
sure
they
they
are.
count.
Right,
Yeah.
so you want a card carrying.
Yeah, I mean,
But really,
yeah.
why doesn't, if religion is a legitimate thing and all that, if we're going to go that route for the purposes of the conversation, I mean, why doesn't God or whoever have better representatives
You
that
know,
are preaching more of the peace type things and accept your neighbor and all that
I've
stuff?
said this my whole life. I think religion is a personal thing, and I'd like to keep it personal. You know, it's hard for me to get behind somebody like him who says sort of crazy things that I think a lot of people, probably even conservatives, can say, okay, that's a little crazy. That's
Yeah.
a little much.
The
like,
vomit
oh,
button.
my wife has Alzheimer's, so you're allowed. You have a pass. You can go cheat on her. I'm like, when is that ever okay? On even people that are atheists.
Right,
I'm like,
and
is
what
that
in the
really
Bible?
okay?
What in the Bible gave him that?
And I have a hard time when they try to say things that the Bible didn't actually quite say, but they're interpreting. I'm like, okay, wait. So you're a man that's interpreting something that I'm just supposed to blindly follow. When maybe if I read it, I would interpret it another way.
Right. Well, and then
So I just
a great example that I'm not a New Testament scholar by any stretch of the imagination or Old Testament, but when they say that
Really? Because we brought you on as
Oh,
a
Mother F! that they mention not to eat shrimp, 1,000 more times than a man not to lay with a man. So
Right.
maybe lay off the crustaceans too while you're preaching to everybody.
Right. And doesn't it say really that a man shall not lay with a man as he would a woman? But most gay men don't lay with women like that, so it's really not a problem.
Work.
You know what? You
Just-
found a
I mean,
loophole.
seriously.
I like you.
It's all about loopholes
You're
with
very
this
smart.
crazy.
It's all about how you interpret it.
Yeah.